at this time, I don't feel like there's any other race of people who could be systematically set up the way we've been set up.
It's like they're wiping all that out of history. In unity, there's strength.
We can't come together to do anything together.
Till this day.
Because I was looking at the other individuals in my class who looked just like me, how we would never get into study groups together. We would be like, I'm going to go and I'm going to team up with the Asian guys. I'm going to team up with the Caucasians. But it was never we were like, hey, why don't we come together?
No matter how much talent you got, how great your idea, if you're doing it as a single individual, you're going to do a menial, meager amount.
We're back. In this segment, we're going to talk about solutions. I got to go. So you know how when we often tell young men, hey, get yourself together. Get your stuff together. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so if they say to you, well, how do I do that? What do I do based on what's going on out here? What do you feel would be some of the solutions that you feel you could offer them and that would be viable solutions in their mind, or you could help them understand?
Knowledge of self.
Yeah.
Knowledge of self.
Yeah, knowledge is always the answer, but the number one thing I think for our kids is to understand how great we are. I think we have a very limited look upon ourselves as a people. And you got to understand, God didn't make any mistakes. All of us have genius within us.
That's right.
But it's our responsibility to find that genius. And when you asked earlier about where would you go back? Well, you go back to a period where you really decide on what you really want in life and enjoy. And what you enjoy is going to be what you're going to do the best.
Absolutely.
So you find what you really enjoy in life more than anything else, and then try to be the very best you can be at that. And that's the easiest way to success.
Sure.
That's
absolutely. Yes,
Just following up on what Mr. Cunningham is saying, and that goes along with the small lady who was kind enough to introduce me to this situation, and I really am indebted to her for that, because one of the things that she talks about is finding your passion, and I totally agree with that. We have to find and follow our passion. And the question that she asks her young people, men and, or at least young boys and girls, what would you want to do even if you didn't get paid?
Exactly.
And when they answer that question, you tap into their inner love, their inner passion, and that's so important. Our young people have to learn how to follow their passion. That's really
And so,
key.
essentially, it starts with us. It starts with home. It starts with when we have an opportunity to speak with young kids is to feed them that food, that advice, about starting with what their passion is and solution based. Do you have?
It's at middle school. It's a middle school age. I know that's the time in my life where I was on that crossroad, and my mom, like I said, she did the best she can possibly do. But if she would have stayed on me more during that middle school time period, I think my path would have went a little bit differently. And I noticed, because my fiance, she teaches at a school in South Central, and I noticed that the kids are already set in where they want to go in her life. And I feel that if you get them at the middle school age, when you say, okay, listen, let's have a real discussion. Where do you see yourself going? What is your passion? What are your dreams? Because when you get to the middle school age, their dreams are already being killed by teachers. They're saying, well, you can't be this doctor because you're black, or you can't be this attorney because you are from South Central. If you tell them, listen, you can be whatever you want to be, but they don't do that anymore, they just basically kill their dream at middle school. So when high school gets there, they're like, well, I can't be a doctor, so I'm just going to just drop out and do what I want to do.
So does that essentially mean that we ultimately have to start thinking about educating our children based on how they learn, and what we know that is essential to their self-esteem?
But bigger, no, it's bigger.
They
It's
can
bigger.
learn anything if
Yes.
you teach them.
Yeah,
And
it's
you can teach them, middle school is a great place, but Elijah, 5th grade, that's where you got to start.
Starts, exactly.
Yeah.
5th grade, I mean, that's 10 years old. They're so smart at 10 years old now. And because of social media, TV, and I mean, it's they can learn anything just like that at 10 years. So it's almost got to be elementary school we start.
But
Right.
if you teach, as you said, and the doctor, he led off with this. If you teach self-esteem at an early age, because I have two sons, 9 and 6 years old. These kids have such a high self-esteem, but I'm their griot, I'm their teacher, I'm the person that's giving
Exactly.
them the connect from history that they have no idea about, that they will never learn, and bringing it to the now. Because my son can walk in and they're celebrating Columbus Day, and my son has had a conversation with the teacher about Christopher Columbus and how he was not the person that discovered America. So you can imagine what a teacher, how they feel.
Exactly.
If someone's coming with knowledge above their pay grade.
And that's exactly what I mean by teach them based on like, don't just let the schools educate your children.
Yes.
No, we teach
we
our own.
have
Yeah,
to start
teach our
because
own.
our
We can't do
children
that.
they're miseducating the
Exactly.
children. So essentially, we have to educate our children based on what we know they need to survive.
And
We need
that's
to
why
educate
I was
ourselves.
saying teaching. We have always understood that one of our number one problems was the lack of having a culture, because we have never taught our culture. And it's not too late, but everybody seems to understand that's part of the problem. But nobody has ever tried to set up a system around the country to teach who we are as a people. The adults need as much education as the children.
Well, there are people, but they're just not publicized, like the Umar Johnsons, the
Thank you. I was gonna bring
the
that up.
Ashra-Quasis,
Oh, man.
the people that are
Please.
touching on
That's right.
our Afrocentricity, and they're giving us an understanding that we are kings and queens, not just in a quote unquote as a saying, but we are kings and queens. We are developed from a different molecular structure, mindset, and everything that has been suppressed through television, music, and all of the above. So if we can just kind of put that to the side, or have these brothers jump on board and say, hey, look, we're going to start building our community up. It's not about us just blinging and just having the fresh car and all this stuff and showing you how much of a person you're not because you don't have what I have. And these musicians don't even have what they say they have. So, and they're not portraying a lifestyle. They're not drug dealers. They're not this. They're not that. But but their sons and daughters are going to Harvard. Their sons and daughters are going to college, 4 years, paid in full. So, to stop that travesty, we have to get to a reality.
So solution based would be let's really start to focus on trying to implement school system or schools in the community that are for the re-education or the education of our children, not allowing the public to educate our children in the manner in which they would have them educated or miseducated.
Education is the secret.
Yes.
And let me say one thing too. What you know is not, what you don't know is not so much that gets you in trouble. It's all the things you know for a fact that are not true that hurt you more than anything else.
Absolutely.
And that's where the limitation of self comes in.
Absolutely.
So we have to rewrite. Yeah, we have to rewrite that.
And part of it is not relying on the system to do that, because the system is not geared to do that. That's where we as a community have to get together and figure out a way to get that education for our children. And additionally, we can take advantage of the internet. The internet can do harm in a lot of ways, but the internet can do good things for us. One of the things that we're looking at with the generation of the next incarnation of the Mandrill website is to have a segment, not only the musical aspect of what we're doing from a musical group, but have a conscious corner that we talk about stuff like that. We talk about historical stuff, talk about Garvey, talk about other things, and get our community to give feedback, give some feedback about Ashwa Kwesi, other people that are doing positive things so that we can exchange ideas for other people to weigh in on. I think that will be an important part of the next incarnation of the Mandrill website, in addition to the music that we're going to put forth. And the music is going to be deep. It's going to be heavy.
I can't wait to buy it.
The album is called Apes Back in Town, and look out for it. It'll be available shortly.
Let's talk about love. #Black Love. I want to take you back to the days of real R&B soul music that dominated our households. That feel-good music that talked about love. You know, the kind of music that taught us to be open to our true feelings on how to love and how to receive love. Think about it. It's time to bring it back. Let's inspire each other's love to be openly displayed. A gentle kiss on the lips, walking hand in hand, or nowadays a picture of a couple posted on social media. Yes, we should all want to see more Black love. Encourage them by smiling when you see a couple together. Give a compliment or double tap to like a photo that you see. The more you appreciate Black love, the more you'll see it. Let's bring love back to our community. #starts with you.